Welcome once again, Roast Nation. This is Prime Roast. Angie, Wong, Chris Cordani, and let's have some fun. I'm a little scratchy today, so forgive me. It's I'm supposed to have these colds or coughs or whatever they are in the winter. No, I get them when the weather turns warm. How about that?
I'm here to give you a cough drop, Chris. I wish I could give it to you over the screen. Look, it could be allergy season, right? I think a lot of people are suffering from that right now. I certainly had my bouts. But yeah, no, we're going to let Chris kind of taper down today. He's going to be showing us a lot of videos that we get to roast together. And if you have to cough, I'm just going to take that as you don't want to talk about a particular topic. But, I'll fill in for you, Chris.
You can talk about anything, Angie, including football, apparently. You were on Fox talking football recently. What happened there?
And at 5 a.m., I don't even know. They just sprung it on me like, oh, I'm supposed to know who this guy is, Nick Serban. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of haters for that, and I know I'm going to get roasted because I didn't know that, one of the most popular coaches, football coaches in the United States is going to be joining President Trump at the University of Alabama during their commencement speech. Again, I'm so sorry, Americans. Football's not my thing. Basketball, ask me anything you want. Tennis, women's wrestling, like I'm all about that. But I can't do
I wouldn't
football.
mind watching some women's wrestling. That would be a lot of fun. Wait,
Women's
that's
funny.
regular wrestling, not the mud wrestling?
It could
Like on
be like
real people.
University of Pennsylvania, trans woman wrestling. I mean, I guess,
Yeah,
like
I'm not
it
into
depends.
that.
What's a woman?
Yeah, well, we just went down a rabbit hole really quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Saban's a legendary coach, and yes, he is. He is going to be. I guess he's hosting Trump or joining President Trump. That is. That's pretty cool at the University of Alabama. That's a good thing because Trump needs to be talking to the college students.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And I was just thinking, how I answered it, how I was able to get through a Fox News media hit today was to throw it back into politics that Trump really enjoys winners and especially legendary coaches. But more importantly, we need the youth vote, the youth conservative vote in the midterms, because that is the last standing pillar of the Democratic Party. We already took away the blacks, we took away the Latinos, we took away the Asians, we took away everybody from that traditionally voted Democrat. Now we're going to go for the youth vote as well. And if we can capture that, Chris, we've got the conservative movement and the MAGA movement going forward for many, many generations to come. So hopefully we can sell them the goods. Hopefully, look, Trump is going to a very friendly environment. He's going to, like the flagship university, Southern University, University of Alabama. So I think he's going to be met with a very friendly crowd. But yeah, no, we want to get the youth excited about voting and excited about elections and all the good things that is coming their way. Jobs. That's what Trump is going to be bringing to them. And also American manufacturing and the whole manufacturing kind of renaissance that J.D. Vance is going to be rolling out this week when he goes and visits a U.S. steel mill. So that's going to be good things coming for the youth. Finally, they can have hope. Oh, who else used that word, hope?
Oh, hope and change. Hey, at least the Democrats still have their strongest piece of their base. The perpetually alarmed, endless Chardonnay sipping soccer moms.
Oh, I could use a Chardonnay right now.
There we go. Well, there you go. Well, I'm more of a Pinot Noir guy. I like my dark
Really?
red.
You like the light reds. Yeah, me too. I mean, you know what? We're broadcasters and like I don't know about you, Chris. When I drink, I sound like a man the next day. So I try to, maybe on Fridays I'll just try to like do it then. But yeah, I can't really sip and talk anymore. I can't, it's like walking and texting. I can't do both anymore. Losing the brain cells.
Well, quickly before we get to the videos, the Canadian elections happened. An early called election. This Mark Carney guy, the new prime minister at this point, and now he ran against Donald Trump. He basically fear-mongered his way into a victory. Knew that it would wear off in a month or two, so the snap election was called. I call it a snap election, but the election was called an early election. People just did what they had to do. And he patted himself on the back. But we see the mainstream media saying, "Oh, look, it's a referendum against Trump. Trump scared people into not voting for him." Well,
Mhm.
let me tell you something. Behind the headlines here, there's a lot more to read. Yes, the Canadian Liberals did win the election technically, but they lost seats. They no longer have a majority party. They lost the majority. They're now down to 169 seats. The
Wait, I didn't hear this in the news, Chris. That's a big one.
You'll never hear it in the news. Now they have to have a coalition government. They could pick anybody really. They're probably going to get their new Democrats, the far left, but the far left party lost a whole load of seats too. With that 7, they'll have a majority. And it's important to know. Now, again, the mainstream media went on and on about Pierre Poilievre losing his seat. What's
Yeah.
also important is this is a referendum on the far left and globalists. The far left New Democrat Party, Rajit Singh, he's the leader of that party. He lost his seat as well. So this
Wow.
is something to think about here. The far left, the globalists, and the lefties, they are losing. They may have won this election because they fear mongered their way into it and an early luck win, but it was all political machinations. They the conservatives, get this. By the way, the New Democrats lost 18 of their seats, so they went from 25 to 7. That's what people thought of the globalists.
Uh,
The Quebec separatists were probably fear-mongered into voting for Liberals. Now the Liberals did gain some seats, but they're not they're not a majority party. The conservative
so yeah, so I have a question, Chris. So they voted for their president, but they didn't vote down ballot all the way to other members?
no, no,
Is
what
that how it
happens is
works there?
you vote for your it's like Britain, you vote for your representative, your parliamentarian, if you will, and the
Uh-huh.
most seats, is the leading party.
I see, I see. Okay, so it's
So
not a down ballot issue.
alright, so what you see now is the conservatives gained 25 seats. They had the biggest net gain in the entire election. So
Hmm,
fear mongering may have worked as far as putting the liberals over the top, but the
right.
conservatives, the anti-globalists, at least on paper, they're the anti-globalists. They gained 25 seats, which shows again the continued trend away from the globalist powers.
Well, I hope that is going to be a trend that goes all the way up to the top. But you know, the way I understand Canadian politics is that most of the population's basically in the east, right? And
Yes.
there are lots of liberals there. The West Coasters are usually the ones that are a lot more conservative, and less numbers there. So maybe if we just gave them one of our states, Chris, that might balance things out a little bit, right? Like we could probably lose one of our states and give it to Canada. They could use a few more conservatives so that we could be one big happy North American family, don't you think?
Well, let's put it this way: they lose states, or they gain states. We lose a little bit more. So I don't want to lose anything here from this country. But look at the since you mentioned it, the map here. Yes, Northwest Territories has 1 seat, but that's where Carney's a native of the Northwest Territories. He was going to win that seat anyway. But the productive areas and in the Midwest and even the eastern part of British Columbia, the farming areas, the oil producing area of Alberta, that
Mhm.
sort of thing, those places, they voted overwhelmingly conservative.
Wow. Well, look, it's a good trend to at least kick off, right? This may take a few cycles to get there, but that's what we're seeing across the world, Chris. This is not just particular to Canada. We're seeing it also happening in Europe. We saw it happening in all across the European nation last year. So the conservative wave movement, whatever you want to call it, it's here only because of open border policies and all this other just like bathroom policies that everyone's had to deal with over the last 4 years. Nobody wants to care. No one cares about what bathroom you choose. But because liberals and socialists made you care about their issues, we just kind of rejected it all. And we went completely to the other end. But yet they're still doing more and more of that. Do you believe this, Chris? AOC, our favorite girl, she thinks she's going to be running for president.
Oh,
And
come on. That's a
they're
joke.
testing her.
She'll run. She's gonna run. She's gonna run the primary. But let's put it this way. The Democrats need somebody who they can mask as a moderate, just like Joe Biden, to make it look like, oh, well, he's not as harmful as Bernie Sanders or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They just have nobody. They have nothing. They're going to run. She's a look. If you've listened to that woman speak, she's like a child asking her parents for an extra half an hour to stay up past her bedtime. Every time she speaks in Congress, that is absolutely true. This woman will never be the president of the United States. She may be the Democrat nominee because Kamala Harris was, but she will never become president of the United States. Could you imagine her on a world stage?
Yeah, I can. And I don't want to roll back to Prime Bros episode 29, where I have to pull that clip where Chris says she'll never be president of the United States. I think she's got a shot, Chris, and that is what's scaring me and keeping me up at night, because Democrats don't have someone else to put out there. And you know what? She can actually challenge JD Vance. They are of the same base. Why do you think Trump is going to Alabama today to speak with college graduates? It's because they need the young votes.
Sorry.
AOC.
First debate, it's all over. It's
You think?
She'll be as bad as Biden and Kamala Harris combined in each debate. Yeah, she'll have her viral moments. They'll be cute. She'll get that 47%. Well, it's going nowhere after that. You can't. She's there's such a thing called a man child, right? She's more of a woman child. There's no way this woman will ever be president.
You say that, Chris. I'm telling you, they're testing her, and the Democrat machine has already tossed billions into this. So they're gonna tour. That's why they're going on these tours with Bernie Sanders. They're touring them around to see how people feel about this, how the feeling is, and they're making beautiful Hollywood videos of her being all presidential. I agree with you. Like, she's a total joke. I mean, the whole thing is a big clown show, but that's still half the country voting. And if they can make certain states sing for them, they may actually have captured it. And you know what? The presidential election begins today. And that's what we're seeing. Those are the early signs.
Then we're living Idiocracy, the movie. There we go. Hey, James Carville had something to say about all this with David Hogg as one of their vice chairmen. It's been a joke since he's taken. It's been a joke for a while, but since he's taken over, it's gotten a lot worse. And finally, last week, James Carville called him what we all thought: David Hogg is a twerp. They were both actually on a podcast together. Check this out. This Tara Palmer chick. She had both of these guys on. I'm surprised Hogg went on. This guy has, if anything, this guy has bells. Okay.
He does. He really does.
All right. But
I like that word.
James Carville's pretty matter of fact here. Let's hear what he had to say to this kid.
And you said that members of the DNC should sue him for doing this, since David is a member of the party leadership. He is the vice chairman.
I think he's a vice chair.
Yeah,
I
he's
think,
vice chair.
let me be very specific. I think it is abominable that an official of a political party who is being paid or supported by that political party to go out and raise money to defeat members of the same party. I think that's a jackassery of the highest level.
Jackassery. I love that word.
He's such a great Southerner. I love him. I miss him. I miss his Clinton days, but he still shines in my eyes. I do love his
commercial with his wife, Mary Matlin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, what an amazing power couple. Look, David Hogg, I don't get him. Is he trying to be another AOC? They're all just trying to go for like their viral moments, right?
Well, that's the problem. The left seems to still believe that America thinks like the Twitter files version of Twitter.
Yes.
Whereas the far left opinions have been propped up by bots and by fake algorithms, that sort of thing, to make this is what happened to the Democrats. They governed by Twitter. From the Obama era on forward, they governed that way, not realizing that the algorithms were fixed. So the far left got their say, they got their people in, and the Democrats were frightened of their far left because a few of them got in.
Yeah.
AOC, let's put it this way, AOC didn't get in. So it didn't beat the, I always forget the guy's name, the third most powerful Democrat. She had not beaten,
him.
Right.
George.
She did not defeat this guy because she was a new face. She defeated him because she knocked on doors, met with people. This guy probably barely set foot in his district, if anywhere at all, except for the coffee shop. And she knocked on doors and was pretty. That's how she got in.
George Papas, is that his name?
No.
No, who am I thinking of? I can't even remember. And you know what? I'm from Queens. Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. She only won by 3,000 votes, Chris. If you remember her first election, she barely inched in. Everyone was surprised because it was her first time running. But you're right.
Joseph Crowley. It was Joseph Crowley.
Joseph Crowley. Why did I think it was I'm sorry, I thought it was a Greek guy for some reason. No,
nope.
because he was there forever. He just assumed people are just going to elect him over and over and over again. She put in the hard work and she got it done. But it wasn't just her. Remember, there was the Democrat Socialist Party. Is that what they were called? Association? Whatever they were called.
They had the Democrat Socialists, which are really the socialist wing of the party, which, by the way, has been very active for a very long time. I remember my own, there was a congressman near me, Maurice Hinchey, who was a major part of that. And of course, he used to work for Howard Zinn. So there you go. So let's hear a little more of this.
James, can you tell me
if you want to beat Republicans, of which, of course, lefties never do, they never even run against them.
And that's why AOC will never be president, by the way.
That's one thing. I'm not into beating Democrats. I'm into beating Republicans. And I just will tell you right to your face, I think it's abominable that you have anything to do with the DNC and you're going to go and raise $20 million to beat other Democrats.
There you go. And Hogg's like with his face right in the camera. You know what? Again, I think I said this on another show, but there are some people with a face you just want to punch.
Hogg's lost his race in New Hampshire, right? I mean, he's a complete loser, and they give him like the top job at the DNC. He's supposed to embody hope and the future. Really, that's what the future looks like for the DNC.
This is by default. That's it. They have nobody else. They have their they-thems and maybe a few people who might be able to speak in the news. And this is where David Hogg is. David Hogg has celebrity. That's what he is. That's how he got it. He's a celebrity.
I mean, that's the saving grace for the Democratic Party, you guys. Have a good look at that little kid. I mean, he just learned to shave. I don't know, Chris. I mean, even if he threw on a collared shirt, that collar shirt looks trash on him. I'm going to roast him all day long. He looks trash. If I were his mother, I'd be like, get a haircut. Get some shampoo, man. Look, James Carville, he's old and he could just tell it like grandpa. So I love that he just like rips him apart. You can see the statesman, the elder statesman does not respect the new generation. That is a great video clip of where the Democratic Party is today.
Exactly. There are no John F. Kennedys among the Democrats today. Not a single one. But let's just not canonize James Carville just for speaking the obvious. Okay. Yes, he told us what we already know. 2 comes after 1. 2 + 2 = 4. Good job. Broken clock. Right twice. Here he is at a Bill O'Reilly town hall on NewsNation, which, by the way, you got to commend NewsNation for putting people on both sides on. They're trying to reach down the middle. They give you better information. I like the station.
Me too. I love NewsNation.
But here he is trying to spread the Republicans are trying to cut Medicaid hoax.
I would not extend these big-ass tax cuts, and I would not pay for them by clobbering the middle class and the lower middle class by cutting Medicaid expenses, of which
he said he wasn't going to cut Medicaid.
Go watch the budget that's been submitted. It's already got 600. He said he was going to end the war.
There's nothing about cutting Medicaid in the budget.
I mean, did he say I'm not saying? Did he say I'm not? Did he say I'm not saying I'm going to end the Ukraine war?
And you know it.
Can I?
No, you can't. You can't say it's in the budget. There's a Medicaid cut when there isn't.
Excuse me.
Look at the guy right between the two. He's like, oh my God. Oh, one of them doesn't hit me.
Oh man, no, I would have jumped in that fight. I'm telling you, it should have been a full brawl. You want to go viral? That's how to do it. This is an old fight. Democrats keep saying that we're going to cut Medicaid, we're going to cut Social Security, we're going to cut all this stuff. It's all BS, but they keep scared. They're constantly fear mongering. That's the only control they think they have on, well, their constituents. And does it work anymore? Are you scared? Democrats, are you now fearing that you're not going to have Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, or any of those kind of social services anymore? Because it's never been cut.
Well, the only person that James Carville scared in this particular video is this guy right next to him who looks like he just pooped his pants.
Yeah, that's like, not a good look for him.
Find out.
That, you know what? That's a great opportunity for him to come in, even to be referee. He could have shut that whole thing down. I would have had a lot more respect. The guy's just sitting back like, don't touch me, don't touch me.
And of course, Bill O'Reilly's thinking, what would the great Morton Downey Jr. do in a situation like this?
I think why you interrupting me.
I am. This is
Okay,
ridiculous.
can I
And he
make a
does
point?
it every night.
Can I make a point?
Yes, go ahead.
He was going to end the Ukraine war on day one.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you
It's
didn't say that?
absurd.
But
What did Biden do for 4 years in there? Nothing.
I didn't
Drive me
say that.
nuts.
He said he was going in the Ukraine
can't
war.
tell by your
Please
demeanor.
fact check me. Somebody look
Very
it up on your
calm.
cell phone.
I love it, but I would be like, zip it, just like the old Morton Downey Jr. show. 'Cause he's throwing that around. Of course. Do you know why Donald Trump couldn't settle this Ukraine-Russia situation? Because a day or two after he said that, that he fix it before he becomes president. Even Joe Biden escalated the tensions by allowing Ukraine to use our weaponry to carry nuclear might. Okay.
I didn't hear that one.
That's true. He escalated this into a potential World War III, and that led Putin to raise the nuclear threshold.
I don't think, I honestly don't think that Trump really meant it when he said he was going to solve the
it's hyperbole.
Russo-Ukraine war in 24 hours. Anyone who took him seriously, I mean, you should go get your head checked. But they're going to use that talking point. Look,
Right.
it's like, let's find peace in the Middle East. When? Like, how many presidencies have we gone through already, right? It's always the same rhetoric. It's like the fear mongering, the unachievable goals. Maybe that's the normal, guys. Maybe you just have to live with it and say, okay, these are the conflicts that we'll always have. But yet, everyone wants to be the rock star and save the day. I don't know. James Carville, man. I hate to say this, but because we're a roast show, I'm going to. When you're bald like that, you have to put a lot of powder all over the head, a lot of makeup because of the lights, and it glares back. So I was on a show with a very bald guy, and he spent like 15 minutes having to make up the rest of his head. I found it fascinating. I don't even know what we talked about. Probably football again. But
You know what I would do? If I was bald and I'm getting there, I'm gonna shave my head, and when I go on television, I'm gonna wax my head until it looks orange. My whole head is going to be pure, unadulterated orange, and that'll get everybody because I'll look just like an orange. I won't have hair like Donald Trump.
you should just get like a scalp tattoos. Those are coming back, right? I
I'm
mean,
not getting this 13 tattoos, so I don't want to do that. However, Donald Trump, for his, the guy does not. Joe Biden hid in the closet in the basement and only spoke to the media when every little scripted thing was friendly. The questions, the reporters were handpicked and everything else. Donald Trump just goes out there. All right, question. Hey, you're asking me a dumb question. He'll even say it. And he was not afraid to go on WABC. Of course, he went on with some no name. What's his name? Terry Moran. And look, hey, congratulations to Terry Moran for getting this interview and being chosen by Donald Trump. That's a good thing. But I think he was trying to make a name for himself and get those viral moments. Trump knew it. And then after a little while, I believe Moran figured he was in over his head. Watch what Trump and Moran do. And this is a little chess game between them.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank
And
you.
by the way, ABC is one of the worst.
I love it. It's like, all right, thank you. He's trying to close it out.
It's like
and Donald
punch,
Trump goes right in
punch
there.
again.
Yes.
He can't help himself. Look, I mean, every opportunity he gets to say that, he is like laughing inside. Yeah, okay. What do you make of it? I don't have, I mean, it's pretty clear as day who was controlling that interview there, who was actually interviewing whom. So Chris, does Trump score a point there or ABC? I can't keep up.
Oh, that part is Donald Trump just slipping that fake news thing in and saying, "Hey, you guys are the worst." I like what he does because he's not afraid to say, "Hey," not afraid to call out biased media coverage. And now it's kind of fun, and I'm sure reporters can use this as a badge of honor too, to be one of those. Hey, Trump made fun of me. He respects me enough. I'm getting it. Trump respects us enough to make fun of us, and I think that's a good thing for them too in a lot of ways.
I mean, Trump should be on Prime Roast. He should be our guest here. We roast people all day long,
Just
and
like
so does he. Like, we just love roasting other people, so we should invite him on the show.
Now, this is something that got a little bit testy here. The whole thing about the MS-13 migrant that the left always calls the Maryland man, which he's not a Maryland man. There was a fight over the tattoos and everything else, and obviously whether it was doctored or not. But watch Moran try to get the viral moment, try to get the gotcha moment with Donald Trump. Or Donald Trump, and look, whatever you say about the tattoos or the MS-13 spelling, uh, he generally got the intelligence that it was there. It doesn't matter at this point because the guy is a member. But watch the way these two go at it, and watch Moran trying to get the viral moment and Trump stopping him at every corner.
Of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
But wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute.
Watch him. Moran's trying to go. All right. I want the last word. That's it. I'm going to move forward.
Hey, Terry.
He did not have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS.
And notice another thing. He wants to say the last word, and Trump times it perfectly. Right before that last syllable gets in, Trump says something and cuts out that viral moment where if somebody tries to play it on TikTok, you're going to hear Trump starting to talk, and it's going to automatically look like they're just cutting him off.
That is such good media training. They don't even have a clip to play where they gotcha Trump. Yeah, no, this is high level trolling. This is high level, man. I love watching him perform. It is hysterical because he now knows all the media tricks.
Well,
And
let's
even
do
a seasoned man like Terry couldn't even get through. Not even a clip where they can edit it.
Well, let's do some more. Here we go. I will actually put the volume on. There we go.
Elon Musk and Doge. Everyone knows that there's wasteful government spending. It's really important. But the cuts have had some serious consequences. There have been cuts to.
Look, this guy's like almost like deer in headlights mode, while Trump's like, gotcha now.
Foreign aid programs that save lives and keep people alive overseas. There's been research at the National Institutes of Health on cancer, on Alzheimer's, that has had to be stopped. And the question I think people have is, did Doge go too far, too fast, too reckless?
No, I think Doge has saved $150 billion. We saved, that's a lot of money. There's also a lot of things right now under investigation, which is going to increase that amount by a lot. That's a tremendous amount of money. There were some things where, when I heard about them, I put them back, as you know. There are things that I'm considering right now putting back. But overall, we've saved hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, the original promise was $2 trillion, went to $1 trillion, now to $150 billion, and heading south.
You don't know what it's going to be because we have things that are at a very high level that are being looked at right now. We also found tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, as you know. We found a lot of fraud. There was a lot of fraud. Fraudulent things were taking place, and we ended that, and those people are going to be suffering because of it.
A legal note, fraud is a crime. There have been no referrals to the Justice Department on any of
Well, you don't know that, do you?
I love that. I love it.
How do you know that?
Have there been referrals to the, are there criminal referrals?
How would you know that there were no referrals? I think there were referrals.
They generally.
So let's just do it this way. As the news media would present it, ABC, without evidence, told the president that there were no referrals to the Department of Justice as far as fraud is concerned. Without evidence. That's right.
I mean, how do you tell the president of the United States that? I mean, really, Terry? Wow. No, this is master class right here. I want to learn from this man. I want to learn to talk like this man. I want to learn to address reporters' question like this man. I mean, hero. Like, where's the blinking lights? Love. Love.
This is the way I look at interviews. I look at the little game between the two, and look who gains control, look who gives up control, look who tries to make the viral moment, and look who stops the viral moment.
All right,
And-
there's
and-
been no
Look at the contrast, guys. This is President Trump giving an interview to ABC. Do you think Joe Biden or Kamala Harris could have done this? I mean, no way.
Well-
So this guy is in full control. Love.
Well, here's the funny thing. Those two could not do an interview without it being incredibly and totally controlled. Donald Trump doesn't like things that way, and I think that's his wheelhouse. Controlled is not his wheelhouse.
Or
Not
the
controlled-
edits.
Right.
Remember all the edits?
Yeah, yes. But this is his wheelhouse, one-on-one. And look at his calm demeanor. I will tell you, I know he likes to act it up and hype it up when he does his rallies and he does his speeches. But if you saw more of this Donald Trump, he would have a 65% approval rating by now.
Bingo.
investigation from the
How do
Justice
you know
Department.
that?
I'm asking you, sir.
No, you're not asking me. You made a statement.
Now I'm asking.
That was a statement that you made. There had
Now I'm
been.
asking.
He caught you.
Have there been? Yes, there have.
So there have been referrals for fraud from the
Of
work
course
of
there have
DOJ.
been. Take a look at some of these
All right,
things that
all
took
right,
place.
all right.
Billions of dollars were given to.
Again, ABC just got a scoop. They're the first network to learn that there were referrals, fraud referrals sent to the DOJ. Now, what they should be doing, if they're responsible journalists, is to investigate and see if this and try to verify and find out what it is. But you know what? They're not going to do so. They're still hell bent on making sure that Trump looks bad and looks like a dirty wire.
Yeah, the dirty wire. I like that. No, look, you're right. They just got a scoop of a lifetime. They could ask President Trump to produce evidence, right? They could do all sorts of things. Instead, they're still trying to go with the old narrative that no one believes anyway. I mean, who is Terry Morales saying?
Well, you're killing him.
I know, I'm really
roasting him
killing
by
him.
not even mentioning it. It's
I can't
Terry
even say
Morano.
his name properly.
That's okay.
Who is he to give the legal definition of fraud to President Trump, the guy who's been sued over and over again for fraud? I mean, there's no decorum here. It's hysterical.
And then, as far as the lowlights on the internet and the lowlights as far as the Beltway, we have this. I don't know what happened here. I don't know where this came from, but some no-name congressman again.
This looks like a Saturday Night Live skit.
I know, and the smile and everything else. The funny thing is, these people are vying for position. They know that there's a huge leadership gap, deficit, if you will, in the Democrat Party. So they're all lining up from all walks of life to get into the spotlight and say anything they can. Well, sorry, I can say Al Green took this guy's thunder, but he's trying to do this anyway. Check it out. This wants to impeach Donald Trump.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling?
By the way, that precedent was set during the Biden era, now wasn't it? Yes, disobeying the Supreme Court. That was set during the Biden era.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
That has to be the final straw. It's time we
And by the way, I want to clarify that was set during the Biden era with the student loans, essentially. So
Correct.
right.
impeach
That's what I knew you were
Donald
saying.
J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process.
No.
Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact.
See, no. When I say no, yes, I know the Supreme Court said this, but no, this is not an American citizen. They snuck in under the border. In fact, I believe I believe the law does say, and I forgot which law it was that does say you come in here, you don't get due process if you come in here without valid paperwork.
Yeah, but look at the politics of this, right?
It's all optics.
It's all optics. And look at the background. Like, who chooses that? Come on. Look at the hair.
Yeah,
Look
I'm
at the
waiting for-
whole thing. No one even knows this guy until this video.
I'm waiting for like Colin Jost or Father Guido Sarducci to come out and comment.
This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump.
And there we go.
Who put
You're a
up?
minority congressman introducing articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. You know what that is? That's absolutely useless, and it's all for show. He knows it's not going to go through. He just knows he's going to get votes for doing it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like he's not even going to get votes because they don't have the House. So what are you doing? You're just and it's also just recycling what Al Green has already done, right? So like this is not even like new and fun, but he just wants to do it because it helps him in some ways, maybe. But look, you and I are talking about it. We're roasting him left and right. We didn't know this guy until you just popped him on, right?
I think the Democrats are searching for a certain constituency now, like you were discussing earlier in this program. And unfortunately, the constituency they're looking for consists of people like this who are complaining and whining about, now get this, a dress code at work. And I'm not talking about having to wear suits at Starbucks. This is Starbucks. And they're upset because they have to look like human beings and not and just look like they're doing customer service, which is basically the code when it comes to customer service. And they got upset about also not having to do too much work. Check this out.
Something that Starbucks loves to do is allow partners.
Is that a chick with a beard?
Or whatever that
it
they
is.
are that they want to push. I don't understand how that's in good faith of letting us express ourselves.
You can express yourselves after hours. That's fine. If you're working. Well, I used to work at Burger King when I was a teenager. I had to wear a uniform. We had to make sure our hair was cut short because nobody wants hair in their food. We're not going to express ourselves with our Grateful Dead T-shirt and the FU hat. Kudos or say credit to the great George Carlin for that line. But you know where I'm going here.
Yeah, look, we all do it, Chris. It's called adulting, right? Like I have to dress up for work if you're going to take me seriously, if I deliver the news, even if I don't know what I'm talking about football, but I still have to look the part, and then I can put on my Lululemons and I can, prounce around being my dog mom error, right? I don't have to do it in front of the cameras and I don't have to do it at work. Clearly, this is Starbucks. Remember, they tried unionizing Starbucks. They tried doing every single Democrat muck up of Starbucks. And that's where we are today. It's like you give an inch. That's what happens right here. That's 1 inch.
Kids, just get to work.
I don't understand how that's supposed to embody craft and culture and bring us back to that coffee house kind of vibe that Starbucks is asking for. Because for some reason, you all can't understand how to schedule more people in a zone. You can't understand that people are taking LOA and that you can't understand that it's not appropriate to tell someone.
I remember working shifts at Burger King at age 16.
Good
There
for
was a
you.
local Burger King, and a lot of times other kids would call in or we'd be a little short staffed for maybe a month or two at a time. So I would be doing the burger board, the specialty board, and the Whopper board alone at age 16 at night.
Wow.
And maybe I got help from one person at times, but we've done this. And sometimes there's only one cashier up front.
Listen, I'm going to go get Burger King after this just because you said that. You just made me so hungry for their chicken sandwich. That's my favorite thing at Burger King. I love it. I love it. And you just reminded me how much I loved it. But yeah, this video, does it inspire you to now go to Starbucks, Chris? Do you want to go there and support?
I don't think so. And this guy over here, who apparently has gotten the Jamie Raskin do-rag look on him, he's also complaining about the dress code.
This is not a legal action that Starbucks is taking by unilaterally deciding what the dress code is going to be, and then creating this so-called feedback session where the dress code's already created, and we're just expected to let off some steam and still accept it. Line down.
You know what? Take a shower, dress like a human, and get to work.
I don't know what happened there, Chris. I mean, did Starbucks just completely lost the plot with management? Is that what's going on here? Is this what happens when, I hate using the word woke now. It's just not a word that I want to have in my vocabulary anymore, but it's just bad management.
Oh, I totally agree. And besides, I prefer Tweak brand coffee if you're asking for anything like that.
Tweak brand, or did you say Pete brand? Because
No,
Pete's pretty good.
Tweak brand coffee. That was an episode of South Park where the Tweaks family, the Tweaks, they had a coffee shop and Harbucks moved in. Obviously, it's a parody of Starbucks. And everybody's going to Harbucks, but Tweak brand coffee is like a rainforest on a nice, smooth day.
Oh
You
man!
pour a nice cup of Joe and you enjoy the escape for a little while. But the fact is, I prefer, again, I'm not a Starbucks guy. I'm not going to say anything bad about the company because a lot of people love Starbucks. I'm just a kind of guy that likes to go to a regular coffee shop, the local guy, if you will.
Me
And again, I'm
too.
not disparaging the chains. A lot of people love them. So it's just my preference.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I had a huge learning curve this morning, clearly, and now I'm learning about Chris's coffee, caffeine preferences. I'm of the same way. Support your local businesses, support your small businesses, you guys. You have some great local roasters, I'm sure, everywhere, because coffee is just a huge thing now, right? It always has been. I think I just caught up to it. I didn't drink coffee until my 30s, and I'm like, where have you been all my life? So yeah, no, look, guys, this has been a great show. I have a lot to learn about football, so please, please, please give me your comments about football. Clearly, it's just one of those sports that I better learn about because it's going to be all over the news and I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, no, I had a great show with you guys. Chris, always a pleasure. We're going to have a lot more roasting, a lot of breaking news since we've been on air. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot more material for next week. But thank you guys again for joining episode 29.